Hello and welcome to another episode of Here and Now on Broadcast in Scotland. I'm your host, Katee and tonight's guest is the wonderful Andrew Huggan. Andrew is a singer-songwriter from Scotland's smallest county, Clackmannanshire. So thank you very much for coming in.
Well, thanks for having me.
No problem. How are you today?
I'm very well, yeah.
You good?
Very warm, but
it's very hot today, isn't
but
it?
good, yeah.
Good stuff. So how did you get started playing?
Oh, well, I've been playing music since I was a wee boy. I used to listen to things like Jean-Michel Jarre and the Singing Kettle of all things, you know, a big mixture, and I used to try to play it all on the keyboard. I suppose that's probably where it really started, but like throughout school and that I played in various groups. I was in an orchestra playing brass, I was in a brass band, and I was in a traditional music group at school as well. Playing a recorder, like through school, recorder and keyboards were my thing for the hires and everything like that. Yeah. And then guitar only came into my life a couple of years after I left school, 2003 December. In fact, I went to see Runrig for the very first time in Perth, and I was like, oh, that's amazing. So the very next day I went to the music shop in Stirling, bought my first guitar, and I ordered the Runrig songbook Flower of the West online, and I taught myself guitar and singing for that. And then it didn't take long for me to start writing my songs shortly after that, and it's just continued to progress, and now I'm here. Yeah.
Well, that's a good story. Very good. And in the early days, who did you take influence from when you first started playing the guitar, or even when you were doing your recorder and your piano or your keyboard, did you say so?
Yeah. Well, so with the guitar and the singing, it was mostly Runrig. Right at the very start, because I taught myself from their songbook. Throughout school, it's quite difficult one that, because one of my biggest kind of my favourite music when I was at school was kind of Mike Oldfield, Jean-Michel Jarre. But through Mike Oldfield's album Voyager, I discovered folk music, and it was just not long after that I started playing tunes on the recorder, folk tunes. The traditional music group at school started up, so I joined up with that and learned loads of new tunes, and they started taking us to gigs as well. So I went to see bands like the Old Blind Dogs and Deaf Shepherd. I love the names as well, and Malinky. And ever since then, folk music's been kind of my thing.
Definitely.
Absolutely love it.
So is that what you say your genre is, folk music?
Aye, sort of folkish, folkish singer-songwritery stuff.
Oh, you mix everything.
It's a genre in itself.
Yeah, definitely. Can you remember the first gig you ever played?
Ooh.
The first one.
The very first one. Ooh. What, with the guitar or like back at
whatever you want. You can do guitar.
Oh, I'll go with guitar. The very first one actually, right, with guitar was it was a shambles. It was at a thing in Stirling at the rugby club. It wasn't the Scribblers Picnic, it was something else. I can't remember what exactly it was, but I just bought an electric guitar. Right. Couldn't play it. I was terrible at it, and it was terrible at keeping its tuning as well. So it was this big thing with a saltire on it. It was all, and it was through work, I'm sure. And I went up there and played a couple of songs, and the guitar was horrendously out of tune. No matter, it just kept losing tuning all the way through it, and I was like, oh. But the thing is, the worst thing about it was everybody kept telling me how great it was, and I was like, it wasn't. It wasn't in any way. Thankfully, things progressed a bit further, and it didn't put me off. So.
Oh, that's good. What would be your dream gig to play? So it can be any venue, anywhere in the world. You can even move venues. So if you wanted a venue that was in Scotland, but you wanted it in somewhere else. All
right. I think probably my dream gig would be Runrig's final concert in Stirling in August. That would be the big one. But venues, probably Hewerdine Celtic Festival. I've been going there since 2004 and I love it. Never played there yet, but I'd love to. That would be my dream.
Definitely.
See all my pals dancing about in the crowd as well.
Sounds like a great dream.
Yeah,
great dream.
That'd be great.
So you released your first album in 2012 called Travels.
Yeah.
So how was the process of creating it, since it was your first album?
It was kind of, I suppose it was a bit of a long process, because all the songs that were on it are from when I first started writing songs. So they built up over like maybe 5-6 years, until I eventually thought, John, I'm going to write an album.
Yeah.
So I had all the songs that were in my repertoire, and like loads of my pals like singing along to and that. And then I thought, right, I'll write a couple of new ones as well. So I'd not long got engaged to my wife. So there's a song called In the Glen that's on the album. Alva Glen is where we got engaged. So I wrote a wee song about that. And then I was like, right, I had all these different songs, a couple of traditional songs in there as well. And I was like, it's about travels. It's called Travels. It's about travelling. I've not got a song called Travels. So I wrote a song called Travels, which was the first song on the album. It turned out to be alright. So.
Yeah, good. And what was the feedback like for the album?
Yeah, people seemed to like it. The people that bought it seemed to like it anyway. So it was good. And when it was released, it was Celtic Music Radio's album of the week.
I was just about to say that.
Which I was absolutely delighted with, because I'd been on Celtic Music Radio a few times, just playing a couple of songs and having a bit of a blather. A bit like today, really.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I was just like, I was so chuffed.
It's a good achievement. It was really good.
I was really chuffed.
Really, really good. So now we're going to have a wee break from the chit chat, and we're going to listen to Andrew's first song, and this one is called Down the Railway Line.
Okay. I took a walk between the village and the hills, along the path where the trains used to roll. The scent of the trees took me back to the boy I used to be. Building dens, hide and seek, along the path where the trains used to roll. Getting into trouble that my folks, they would never know. Every now and then my mind takes me back down the railway line, along that olden track. Those days have gone, but in a way they still remain. But still I dream I could travel on that train. Where the miners dug for coal, along the path where the trains used to roll, I found in the stones a gift from a long, long time ago. Black gold and some rivets of rust, along the path where the trains used to roll. A miner underground worked his life to bring this to my hands. Every now and then my mind takes me back down the railway line, along that olden track. Those days have gone, but in a way they still remain. But still I dream I could travel on that train. How many miners working in the dark have feared they would never see the light, as the train stormed above them, dropping coal dust in their eyes. Did they ever think their shift might never end? Every now and then my mind takes me back down the railway line, along that olden track. Those days have gone, but in a way they still remain. But still I dream I could travel on that train. Every now and then my mind takes me back down the railway lane, along that olden track. Those days have gone, but in a way they still remain. but still I dream I could travel on that train.
That was beautiful, well done. Thanks. I really like that. That's a nice song.
Oh, thanks.
So what's the story behind it?
Well, this song is actually the title track of my second album, which is in the works at the moment.
Yeah.
But it came about at Glasgow Songwriting Festival last August. I was kind of wanting to get back into things. I was kind of stuck for ideas for songs, and I really wanted to get back into my music. So I went along to that. It was fantastic. It was a weekend of workshops with Findlay Napier, KarinePolwart, Jim Hunter, and Emma Pollack. And it just opened my eyes. It gave me a little kick to kind of get me back into it. And so one of the workshops with Jim Hunter were to write 5 song titles.
Right.
And one of the mine was Down the Railway Line. We had like 20 minutes to go away and start writing a song based on it. So I found a wee corner behind a curtain in this room and just started thinking away, wrote down, and it just kind of came from there. So and it's all about Fish Cross, where I live. Clackmannanshire was quite a heavy mining community. There's lots of old abandoned mine shafts under Clackmannanshire, and there's a lot of them in Fish Cross. And from Alloa to Dunfermline there was a railway line, which is dismantled now, and it's now a public footpath. But I used to play down there when I was wee, and like when I moved back to Fish Cross, I enjoyed going walks down there. And so I just got to thinking about, thinking back to when I was wee, kind of playing down there, but also thinking about the miners that used to work under there and how they must have felt when all these trains going above them. It must have been absolutely terrifying. Obviously, loads of people risked their lives as well just to put bread on the table. So I just wanted to kind of do something like that in a song, and it turned out to be okay.
It's a
Not
lovely
too
song.
bad. So,
it's really nice. I really enjoyed it. So how do you go about writing a song?
It's different every time. Funnily enough, the 3 songs I'll be singing today, they're all written differently.
Right.
So like that one was the title, and then just go away and try and write a song to a theme, basically. Another one I'm going to be playing in a wee bit, Busy Little Worker. It's my newest song. I only wrote it a couple of weeks ago. I was getting a new kitchen fitted, and I was out in the garden while they were doing what they were doing, and I just saw a bumblebee, and I was like, I just got a line in my head, just kept going around. As soon as the guys installing the kitchen left, I went upstairs into my man cave and started writing this song. But then the last one, the Sweetie song, I went up to my man cave again, and just started playing a chord sequence, and then humming along the top of it, and then so it's different every time. I'd say most of the time I start with writing the lyrics probably. But, I mean, like I say, it is different every time. Definitely.
And as you'd mentioned, you attended Glasgow Songwriters Festival. I was reading that and just not taking it in 2017. So was it all just like different workshops throughout the weekend, or?
Yeah, it was. You had a workshop with each of the tutors, and they were each like giving you tips on different aspects of songwriting. So you had a bit about kind of constructing a song or the structure of a song. And we actually dissected a Beatles song to find out how it was put together. And well, I'm not a massive Beatles fan, but after that I had a bit more of appreciation for them, just seeing how like the thought that went into it. But then there was also like tips for if you're stuck with songwriting. Like the speed songwriting with Findlay Napier, that was pretty mental, that was intense. And trying to write a 12-bar blues in 5 minutes kind of thing. It was all good fun, but then there was even things like going through a book full of pictures, and if any picture catches your eye for more than a second, then try and write a song about it. But I tried that when I got back, and I thought, right, okay, I got some books at the library. There was a book, A Wee Boy in Glasgow, an old black and white photo, and there's a wee boy sitting on the pavement, the wet pavement in Glasgow, just itself looking all sad. And I ended up killing him in a song, and I felt really bad about it. I was like, so my songs went from being really nice and happy and kind of cheery to I killed a kid in a song. But I felt that bad about it. I was actually moved to tears when I was writing it. I was like, I can't believe I just did that. So I wrote an alternate version where he actually finds pals at the end of it. So
that's nice.
Instead of being a ghost at the end of it. That one's not going to be on the album though. Maybe another one in the future. I've not got the heart to record that one yet.
And out of, was it 3 different tutors? So there was Findlay Napier. 4. So who was it again?
There was Findlay Napier, KarinePolwart, Jim Hunter, and Emma Pollack.
So who did you enjoy the most? What time did you enjoy the most? Or is that quite a hard?
It's a hard one to say because I got something out of every session. I thought they were all absolutely fantastic.
Well, they all are fantastic.
Yeah, well that's it. I mean, I was just kind of overwhelmed a bit by like, oh my god, I'm getting taught songs with these amazing people, how to write songs with these amazing people. But I don't know, I'd say Jim Hunter's workshop purely because I got that song out of it. But I mean, like even KarinePolwart's session was brilliant as well. We're sitting in an abandoned not abandoned Govanhill baths.
Yeah.
We're sitting at the bottom of a swimming pool, an empty swimming pool, like learning how to write songs. It was
amazing,
kind of surreal, but I couldn't pick one
They're all
part
just
of it.
as good as each other.
Yeah, it was just such a great weekend. Lots of great people as well, and I think a few of them have already been on your show as well.
Yeah.
I saw the names up through in the
room
there. So.
That's good to know. So, and I guess that the festival will be back on this year.
Yeah, it is. It's back on in August. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend as much as I would love to, but because I'm going to be a dad.
That's true.
Within the next few weeks.
Very exciting.
So, I know, yeah. I'm absolutely chuffed to bits about that.
Well, good luck with that. Hope all goes well.
I've already written a lullaby for it. So.
Oh, good stuff. So we're going to do our random questions. So these are just completely random. You can take your time with them.
Okay.
Okay, so in what situation or place would you feel most out of place?
Probably if I woke up and I was running on an athletics track.
No.
I don't run. It's not a case of I can't run.
I just don't.
I can't run either, but I don't run unless I'm going to miss a bus.
Yeah, that's important. You need one for that.
I think that would probably be where I'd feel most kind of awkward. Like,
running.
How did I get here?
If you inherited a private jet from a stranger, where would the first place be that you would go?
The Isle of Barra.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice one.
I've been there multiple times. I even landed on the beach there in the plane.
Really?
I just absolutely love that place. So if I had my own plane,
You'd go there?
I'd be going there.
Lovely. And would you rather be able to breathe underwater or have the agility of a cat?
I'd love to see me with the agility of a cat, but I think breathing underwater would come in a bit more handy.
Yeah, unless you were like going to be a ninja, but
I can't see that happening.
Nah. Oh man. So we're going to take another wee break.
Okay.
And we're going to listen to another track from Andrew. This one is called Busy Little Worker.
One day in the garden, as the sun shone down on me, in amongst the flora, I met a bumblebee. He took a break from his fuzzy, buzzy day and landed on my hand, and I'm sure I heard him say, this life is so much harder than it has ever been, and the flowers are much sparser than I have ever seen. I need to gather nectar to keep this world serene. I'm a busy little worker for the Queen. When I was much younger, I'd play without a care. Then I'd hear a buzzing and it had me running scared. I didn't know the vital part in life they played. I'd never have been frightened if these words to me were said. This life is so much harder than it has ever been, and the flowers are much sparser than I have ever seen. I need to gather nectar to keep this world serene. I'm a busy little worker for the Queen. Try to imagine our world without the trees. This is our future without the bumblebees. They keep this world ticking as they fly from bloom to bloom. Plant some flowers in your garden if you've room, room, room. Plant some flowers in your garden if you've room. In the garden centre, I picked some packs of seeds. I chose the perfect flowers to cater for their needs. There was lavender and borage, thyme and rosemary. Then somewhere in the garden I heard someone say, this life is the best that it has ever been, and the flowers are the brightest that I have ever seen. I still gather nectar to keep this world serene. I'm a busy little worker for the Queen. This life is the best that it has ever been, and the flowers are the brightest that I have ever seen. Still gather nectar to keep this world serene. I'm a busy little worker for the Queen. I'm a busy little worker for the Queen. I'm a busy little worker for the Queen.
Well done.
Thanks very much.
That was good, that one. I especially like the buzz 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 bit.
Yeah.
The wee solos.
On the album it's a kazoo. I bought a kazoo specifically for this song, but I kind of wish I'd left the buzz in it.
Yeah.
Buzzing in it. It was funny because my wife, after I'd written the song, I played it to my wife and she was killing herself laughing at the buzzing bit. She thought that was quite funny.
I thought it was funny. It was good, it was a nice touch. So it's been over 5 years since you released the first album.
Yeah.
And now you're working on your new one, which is great. What can you tell us about it?
Well, it's called Down the Railway Line, and I suppose the title Down the Railway Line, as you heard for the song earlier, it's kind of a nostalgic album, but it's kind of looking through my own lifeline, you know, thinking about when I was younger to present day, things I'm encountering, and also looking to the future. So it's also like, it's a bit like travelling down my own personal railway a bit. But I'd say it's a bit more of a thoughtful album than Travels. There's definitely a lot more heart and a lot more feeling in it. Don't get me wrong, Travels was a lot of fun, but this one's a bit more personal, I would say. But there are a couple of good lively songs in there. My aim with the album is to make people laugh, cry, get nostalgic a bit, and just to kind of go, ah.
Well, I hope everyone has all of those feelings.
I hope so too.
Definitely.
I know I've had them anyway.
And how many tracks are on the album?
There's 11.
11.
Yeah.
And did you say you recorded it yourself, or did you go? So how was that experience?
It's the thing I like about I've never actually recorded in a recording studio. One, I'm too skint to be able to do it. But I also like being able to. I like the actual process of recording, basically being the musician and the engineer. Kind of, because they're both creative. You know, I always think that, like, when it comes to recording and mixing, that's essentially like learning another musical instrument. Because especially with mixing, there's just so much to it. And I've learnt so much for doing Travels. Like, I think my skills with that side of things have come a long way. I'm a lot more thoughtful about it. I've released a couple of songs since they're Christmas songs and stuff like
good.
that. They are good. They're good laugh.
Christmas.
But no, it's just, and the good thing is when you've been doing it myself, I've got as much time as I need. Apart from now, where I have to get it all done before the baby arrives. But it's just, you can take things at your own pace, and it's like, if you do something and something changes, I love hearing how everything progresses from a simple idea to something drastically different, and it's amazing how different they can change once you start recording it. And if you were in a recording studio, you wouldn't have the luxury of,
you would have the time,
just because you're basically paying by the hour, whereas doing it yourself, although you get better results in a studio, miles better results. I like the personal kind of side of it being recorded by myself, and the only bit I'm not doing myself is the mastering.
Yeah, that's don't get me started on the
it's
mastering.
like you have to be a wizard to be able to know how to do that, I think.
For sure, definitely. So when is the album going to be released? Do you know the date?
Yeah, I'm aiming for the 1st of August. I think it'll be ready long before then. I did a crowdfunding campaign for a successful one, exceeded the target, so everyone that made a pledge for that will be receiving a limited edition version of the album, CD of the album. They'll get it weeks before it goes on general release, just because that's one of the perks.
Yeah.
Like, I've crowdfunded a few albums, favourite bands and stuff like that. I think it was an absolutely brilliant experience. And just yesterday, it was my birthday yesterday, and my wife had got me a book. I'd asked her for it. There's a band from Canada called Enter the Haggis. Now I know the name is but this book was they don't sound, they're not a Ceilidh band, which the name would maybe imply. They're a bit more rock, quite heavy Celtic rock, I would probably say. But they changed their name to Jubilee Riots for one album, but then they changed back to Enter the Haggis. But they're really inspired by them because their albums, they write songs based on people's lives. One of them, I'm rambling a bit here, but one of them, they got a copy of the Stornoway Gazette, and they wrote a full album based on stories in that one newspaper. The other one, the Jubilee Riots album, they asked all their fans to send in their stories, and they wrote an album based on that. It was absolutely fantastic. So I sent in a story. It didn't end up in it, but it didn't matter because the songs in it are absolutely fantastic. But I got the book, and it's all about the making of the album. And it's everybody's letters, like copies of it, and all the lyrics to the songs and pictures and that. But right at the very start of it, there was about 3 pages worth of names, and I was like, "There's my name there." I was like, there's not many Andrew Huggans about.
No.
I know of 2, myself and I think there's a cello player that lives in Glasgow, possibly. There's not many of us at all. So I was like,
wow.
Just opened that book yesterday. I was so chuffed to have the book, but then opening it, I was like,
my name's there.
So it's a really rewarding experience, like crowdfunding, because at the end of the day, it's not everybody, especially when you're starting out, you just don't have the money to go into a studio. You can't. It's a lot of outlay, especially even if you're working full time in this. You need to do things like this, and I think a lot of people are still a bit funny about it.
Yeah.
But to me, the way I see it is, it's essentially a very advanced pre-order. At the end of the day, you've nothing to lose with it as well. And the feeling you get when that CD, the finished product, comes through the letterbox, and you're like, can I help do that?
Yeah,
definitely.
Really, that's lovely. Yeah. I like the idea of the sending the letters into.
It was absolutely fantastic. For a band, I think they're one of the, when it comes to the way they treat their fans, is absolutely phenomenal. They've never played in Scotland as far as I'm aware, much to my disgust, because I'm dying to see them live. They're one of my favourites. But they even take like loads of their fans from over in the States and Canada and send them on a trip over to Ireland with them, and they go and they maybe play a couple of concerts and they go sightseeing around the Ireland. I was like,
that's lovely. Why can't you do that for me?
It's absolutely fantastic.
No, that sounds great. So what have you got? Obviously you've got your new album release coming out. You're going to be a dad soon.
Yep.
Is there any other exciting projects on the horizon for the next 12 months? Or are you going
changing nappies?
Learn how to change a nappy.
Things like that. No. Musically, not an awful lot, just really promoting the album when it gets released, and I think I'm going to try and do a bit more live performance. I've not done an awful lot of it the last few years for various reasons, but I want to get back and just to enjoy playing live again. Just want to do music mostly for the love of doing it now, more than anything else.
For the enjoyment of it. Yeah. Great, so now we're going to have a wee bit of fun. We're going to play our quick question quiz. So 10 questions, answer them as quickly as you possibly can. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, winter or summer?
Winter.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Well done or rare steak?
Well done.
Mars bar or Snickers?
Mars bar.
Favourite movie of 2018?
2000. Don't know.
Orange or peaches?
Orange.
Sweet or sour?
Sweet.
Garlic or onion?
Onion.
Favourite James Bond?
I don't really like James Bond.
Rock or country?
What was that? Sorry?
Rock or country?
Country rock.
That was great. That was good. You got 31 seconds.
That was nerve-wracking.
Well, wait. It's quite nerve-wracking, isn't it?
It is.
So, favourite movie of 2018 that we have time to think?
I think, what have I been to see? I went to see some. I've only been to cinema once this year. Oh no, I'm not.
No.
What
about The Great Showman? You into that? No?
I've never seen that, no.
No, it's kind
I
of
did see some, what did I go to see? Some of it. Oh yeah, Ready Player One. There we go.
Oh, there
that
we
was
go.
It. Went to see that, I absolutely loved it. It was brilliant.
And you're not into James Bond?
Not really, no.
Yeah,
I've seen a couple of the films, but not really my kind of thing.
It's not my cup of tea either.
I'm more into Lord of the Rings and things like that.
Should I ask that then? Favourite Lord of the Rings movie?
Oh,
is
probably
that?
Return of the King.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Mm.
Cried so much of that film.
Oh man.
Not afraid to admit it.
Don't be afraid to admit it. It's good to be in touch with your feelings. So thank you so much for coming in.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's been really nice. It's been lovely.
I've enjoyed it as well, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like a blather.
Yeah. Oh, it has been great. And thank you for tuning in to another Here and Now on Broadcasting Scotland. A big thanks to our guest Andrew for coming in. Make sure you like him on all these social media platforms, which I'm sure will be running along the bottom of the screen at some point. Make sure you keep up to date with any gigs that he might be performing at, and his brand new album. And even a good luck, hope everything goes well for the baby coming very soon. Now we're going to have another song from Andrew, so sit back, relax and enjoy the final song. This one's called The Sweetie Song.
This one's a wee bit more rusty, but it's about I suppose it's kind of inspired by the sugar tax, really. As you can tell, I like a bit of a munch, and I like sweeties. So again, this is going back to the kind of thinking back to when I was younger, how sweeties were amazing, and now they're not quite as good. Right, so here we go, the Sweetie Song. This is the one to make people laugh a bit. I remember the days when I was tiny, la 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 la. With my 10-pence piece, I'd go out to the icy, la 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 la. Rhubarb and custards and jelly rings, la 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 la. A 10-pence bag with more than 10 sweet things, la 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 la. Double dips with their swizzle sticks, la 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 la. I'd savour the flavour with every lick, la 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 la. Buy lots of sweeties with my pocket money, la 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 la. They hiked up the prices, I can't buy as many, la 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 la. They took the E numbers from our snacks years before the sugar tax. They took the E numbers from our snacks years before the sugar tax. They took the E numbers from our snacks years before the sugar tax. They took the E numbers from our snacks years before the sugar tax. Oh, that's the way it used to be. Oh, that's the way it used to be. Now I'm much older, I still like her much. La 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 la. But the sweets aren't as good, they don't have as much crunch. La 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 la. They tell us these sweet things are bad for you, and I know they are. But now you've claimed our iron brew, you've taken things too far. Oh, that's the way it used to be. Oh, that's the way it used to be. Oh, that's the way it used to be. Oh, that's the way it used to be.
Well done. That was
Thanks
great.
very much.